Okay.
All
No,
right, looks like we're
that's
back
fine with
again.
me.
All right, so I'll go
Okay.
back to the story. Let's just start over again. Hi, this
Yeah.
is Skeeter. This is Skeeter Green's friend Zach Laser, and I'm with Skeeter Green. We already fucked up, and
The
we're proud
the
of it.
YouTube just gave me a message that says moderation helps everyone feel safe.
All right, on. We don't have any
They
moderators.
obviously don't know who we are.
All right,
I don't I don't feel safe.
I don't really either, but I'm with you. So no, anyway, so we just got back from a very long Gary Con, just as we had a very short timeout because Skeeter thought this was actually a stream was private, but I believe it was public, but we're finding out now. Do we have any watchers, Skeeter? Does anybody care about us enough to show up?
We might, but I'm having trouble finding us again. So just just keep going, man. We're gonna be fine.
I'm not worried about it. Uh,
If there was
we're not
not,
monetized, nor do we plan to be.
yeah. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you have to reboot. I'm so sorry. So do we. You know, my sister, your wife, where is she? Is she in your house?
She's in the other room, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll let you know when she comes in with a cleaver.
You rebooted us.
Oh,
Well,
oh my God. Yes, I
what's
know.
this?
We're trying to
I
do it.
know, but Skeeter made it come up. It was his fault. You have to tell everybody to come back. So sure it is. That was
Oh,
the that was the start I expected us to have.
yeah. Well,
Just
hold
think we were
on.
congratulating ourselves for making it work right before that.
Yeah, we're not very good at this.
We're not trying to be. See, that's the part that makes this a lot of fun.
I know.
It's like, what's our goal? We don't have a goal. Do we have a target audience? No.
Hey, any of the people who are used to us and watch our show, yeah, this is as good as it gets.
No, yeah.
This is as sophisticated
This this
as
is
we
peak
roll.
us. Yeah, peak
Yeah.
us.
Uh Eric and Mike, God bless them. Eric knows how to set that show up and run it. We
Because
don't, nor do we care.
but see, Mike couldn't.
No,
Bless his
no,
heart.
no. No, no. I think it's understood who the head of that show is and who the body of that show is.
True.
Mike
No,
is
so
just carrying him along. So please, no, let's go back to this. Zach, tell
yeah.
me about Founders and Legends.
Well, about 15, 20 days ago, I guess. I don't even remember anymore. It was so long. I left Cottonwood, Arizona on a Thursday afternoon, arrived in Lake Geneva on a Friday because we stayed overnight down in Phoenix. And that began 11 days of Game Con. And if you guys think
Man,
that that sounds like heaven, it kind of is in a kind of way. But it was a long time to be gone. But we arrived there for Founders and Legends at in Lake Geneva, and it was Luke Gygax hosted a con for it was like a pre-con. It allowed him to do a warm up before the big Gary Con because Gary Con was huge this year. So I got
yeah.
there and at the Grand Geneva, and we were lucky enough to score one of the villas for Frog God. So we had three of us in one of the villas to begin with, and then that first night, Bill had his first game, and we hosted in the villa. And then the second night, he had a second game, we hosted in the villa. And the next night, he had another game hosted in the villa. But we were able to go and see everybody that we knew, and we had dinner with famous people like Alan Hammock, Zeb
Oh,
Cook.
I've got an Alan Hammock story that confirms scientifically and mathematically I'm a stupid, but I will tell that story later.
Well, I got to meet his wife, and I realized who the smartest Hammock was. That's for sure. She's my new favorite Hammock.
Absolute angel.
No, she
She
was
is a wonderful person, and
in
I
every way.
mean, I could guess how Alan made that happen, but I'm not gonna say it because this is a family show.
They met in a bowling alley, so I know that's cool.
Massive, massive, massive credit card. That's my guess. No,
Yeah, because
they
I mean TSR paid him all so much, he was a hero. That's what
oh
I've heard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Between TSR and the Alabama Wargaming Club, he is raking in the nickels like
Yeah.
nobody's business.
It's the price of fame. That was the price of fame.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Got to see like the people like them, and it wasn't very crowded because they didn't even have the conference room for games yet. But they had, I want to say 400 people, 500 people, maybe.
Yeah,
But
it looked online like a bunch of the hardcore, uh, for sure the hardcore locals were
yeah,
going to that.
yeah.
I couldn't do it. Uh, it was my birthday that weekend, so I I got to stay here with my family. We survived an escape room.
That was wise.
Yeah,
Um,
no, it was fun.
no, my, someone one time suggested we do that as Frog God for team building. I said that would all that would do is destroy our team. Um, but
I would murder somebody and hide them in
no, I
there
know. The thing
somewhere.
is, I can't figure out who. I knew you would, but I don't know who would be, and it may depend on the day. But no, so Founders and
100%.
Legends, Founders and Legends had a lot of cool games. And I played one of Bill's games, and so did Jen. We played it in the character killing session from the Sword of Air, and it was
I'm
a lot of fun.
familiar.
It was a lot of fun. I don't play that often really as I should because I
I
talk
know.
about dragons all day.
I have invited you for years, and I finally got you to play again
We'll get to that. We'll get
in
to
one of
that.
my games.
We'll get to
So
that.
that's
We'll get to
that's
that
another
when
story.
we played the game next to all the kids in the pool. Yeah. Um,
Yeah. When you say it like that, it's very treacherous.
I know. I know. That's
I
the
I
point.
feel like I
We're
feel
getting
very
there.
nervous.
Yeah, we're getting there. So no, anyway, so Founders and Legends was great. It was actually you go down to the bar area in the evening, and it was not like 10,000 decibels with nowhere to
Oh,
sit and no one to talk to.
oh my God. I adore Stephen Picorni. I do. I don't know
But
how he can hear.
all right,
I
everybody can
I
hear.
I do not know how he can hear anymore because this isn't like a one and done for him. I think he lives his life at 130 decibels.
No, I think it does too, which makes sense. It's funny because remember at a Game Hole Con, that little glass room that has the computers in it in the Clarion, they finally put him in there
Oh,
to
yeah,
play
yeah,
with the
yeah.
music.
Yeah.
But
I
anyway,
s-
so
I still remember when, and I will stop interrupting you
no,
after
that's
this.
fine.
I
That's
still
fine.
remember the first time my wife, lovely Devilette Northwest Jen, encountered Stefan Picorni. Her question to me is, who's the drunk little guy that's so loud in the back?
Well, the answer to that was easy. You never had to worry, did you?
Yeah, it is Stefan. I didn't even have
Yeah.
to look, but he's great and has done so much for the hobby. It's just
No, and
amazing.
his enthusiasm is actually
Oh
infectious,
yeah.
and he's like the nicest guy. And his games are
Oh,
really fun. I watched him and Bill play a game in Totocon, and it was he just runs a fun game. So, mucho respect for him. So now that you stopped interrupting me about Fountains and Legends because you weren't there, I'll pass the torch to Gary Confer when you arrived. Um,
oh
we
wait.
actually, I was ready. No, so we actually went through it. It went through Monday, and then on Tuesday, Bill had it between the games for the one day that was off between Fountains Legends and Garrett Club, and then he ran that, and then it was well done. It was fun. Like Luke told me in person, it was a warm up because he's already there every year. I think on the Friday before getting ready because it's such a huge event now, and so he was able to have a smaller event, like a more I'll use the term because everybody will laugh, more intimate event. And I'm waiting for you to blink. I see you blinking.
No, I believe Tom Tullis is in our chat,
I'm
and
sure he is.
he has the absolute balls to say that I never ask him to play in my games. And I called him
Well,
out and said,
if he went
Tullis,
to a
you lying sack of shit.
well, if he went to conventions, but he quit going. He's quit going to conventions because he's either too good for it or they got kicked out and didn't tell us. One of the two. The latter, I think.
I don't know. He might just be above us at this point. I hate to give him credit, but he is better than we are.
He's balder, even balder than you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I
a
got a
little
little
bit.
sunburn on top of my head there again.
Is it still there from when you when you went
When
to
I went to
Phoenix?
Costa Rica, no, when I
Oh,
went to Costa Rica, that was awful.
well,
And I'm going back
right on.
to Phoenix. Got my
Yeah,
hotel today.
right on. So
And
anyway, so
the hottest
Fa-
part of the year.
Founders and Legends ended. And you know, it took us 5 trips to the grocery store, Jen and I. to make sure we had everything to do dinners and such. And it was great. We ate well the whole time. I think we went to a restaurant once, and it was great.
Yeah,
We had a good time.
I I
Gary
loved
Con,
I loved the villa. I
yeah, me
hope you
too.
guys get the villa all the time, and I'll be in my little peasant quarters, and I'll just come over and like a
You just
hobo.
you just sit there like a hobo. So anyway, so then Gary Con started because Skeeter Green showed up. So you can now start and describe Gary Con, and then we'll talk about the aftermath soon.
So I got to Chicago on Monday and was able to again visit Casa Meinhardt and see the greatest collection of D&D stuff there is. And lo and behold, when I arriven there, uh, I don't think that's a word.
Can be.
So the whole plan was to go through and play G2, the glacial rift of the frost giant Jarl. And
Y'all.
I thought, okay, cool, we'll play. Never in my little brain's imagination did I imagine that Bill Meinhardt set it up with terrain. In two levels, wait a minute, three levels of the glacial rift, maybe? Maybe it was only two. Oh no, the pool table was not covered. So two levels of the glacial rift and the first level of the fire
Fire
giant.
giant.
So it was nuts. It was
I
absolutely amazing.
I haven't played those in such a long time. The thing that surprises me the most about them is how short they are.
Well,
Well,
it
no,
was,
shortly written, long playing.
yeah, very long playing when your party takes an hour to decide if they're going to go left or right. So
Well, I'm sure you
that
were cool. I'm sure you were cool with that, though. You like indecision.
there's a lot of difference between chaos, which I'm a huge fan of, and what are we doing? What is happening? Come on. But overall, as I told them, this was run by Mark Greenberg, which you may be familiar with,
I know him.
and a new up and comer named Steve Winter.
Who?
Yeah, you'll hear more about him as he gets some credits under his belt. Yeah,
Oh, that's a Guitar Hero guy, right?
yeah, he's a guitar player and he's written a couple of things. You haven't heard of him yet.
Oh,
Uh,
didn't you work on Camo World or something? No, wait, Star Frontier.
no, I don't know.
Uh, that
Uh,
seems like a long time ago. I can't
I
remember.
am unfamiliar. But this was the first time that I have gone through G2 since I was a preteen.
Yeah, I haven't
And
played it since then either.
and it is the first module I ever bought for myself with my lawn mowing money when I was a kid. So it was very special and I was very appreciative that it happened. And that was 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and part of Wednesday, which
And then,
then
yep, then it
I
started.
got I got to drive from Casa Meinhardt to Lake Geneva with none other than known and accepted utter badass, Mr. Jim Kitchen.
Ooh,
Me and Jim
yeah,
Kitchen in his gazebo killer truck,
yeah.
which is
We'll get
part of
that.
another story we'll
We'll
get
get there.
into. Yeah, I got to hitch a ride with Jim and got over to uh the Grand on Wednesday, and there were already 100,000 people there. It was
Yeah, we
wonderful.
our attorney Ty Beard was there that day, and he tried to get a package delivered, and the people at the Amazon, because it's the same day delivery, they just noped out. They saw the line for the front desk, and they said that the desk wasn't taking packages, which is a lie. They just noped out for trying to get the package to him.
That's fantastic.
No, he was with us in the villa. He got there on Tuesday, and that was the start of his adventure. Was to get no his package. No,
I
so I'd never seen the line that long ever. I mean,
Yeah,
I've been to GaryCon since GaryCon 4, and of course it's been bigger pretty much every year but 2021. And it was insane. It was absolutely insane to check in. And then the badge line, I mean, I know it's not like Gen Con, but it felt like Gen Con because the space was so much smaller.
So the story about the badge line, I couldn't figure it out. So I don't know. Do you have an exhibitor badge? I don't know what badge you get.
Well,
Oh,
I
you're
was supposed to
special
have,
guest.
but I had an exhibitor badge. They never got me a special guest badge.
Okay. So the badge that I had said uh industry notable,
Which you are.
which was I I'm not sure if that was an upgrade from last year when I was an industry insider. I don't know if a notable is more than an insider, whatever. But nowhere is that listed for me to go pick up my badge. So I so I'm just wandering around the hall and then I finally asked somebody. It's like, where do industry notables get their badge? And the guy at the door was very pleasant. He says, right in here, you're considered a special guest. And it took me about 3 steps to go, oh, wait, shit, considered? Like you're making it very clear I am not a special guest at all. Well
Well,
done.
well, the way I see it is, they have to differentiate between you and that guitar playing guy that's up and coming.
Well, the bald guy with a goatee is pretty generalized at Gary
That's
Con.
kind of like the heavy guy with a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
uh it's a stereotype that's
He's
not necessarily
yeah.
awesome, but very accurate.
So no, and then you got your badge, and what'd you do next? What's your first game?
My first game was Thursday morning, or was it Wednesday night? I don't know. Time ceased to
No,
have meaning.
it had a whole new timeline. It's like space time continuum was all about whack.
But what was weird is while I was in line getting my badge, I was there with a new kid on the block you may have heard of, Mr. Keith Baker,
Oh,
who
yeah, yeah,
wrote Eberron
yeah,
and
yeah.
has done 100 things that now I feel dumb. I cannot just rattle them all off. But yeah, so Keith and I spent some time talking in line and getting our badges and stuff, and I'm just like, this is the weirdest thing ever. Like little kid me would never imagine this was a possibility to have this happen on the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons. I, who's now just become an elder nerd, gets to spend my time with these people that I have looked up to and appreciated their work for so long. So
Well, for me,
it
it
was
was
great.
my same experience like that was my very first module was a gift for Christmas in like 1981 or 1980, 1981. And it was the Ghost Tower of Inverness. So the first night that I found in Legends, I had dinner with Alan Hammock. And we didn't talk about Ghost Tower of Inverness because we've talked about that before. A lot of times we talked about we talked about SPI's Lord of the Rings game, the War of the Ring,
Yeah.
and now obsessed with that now. And it's his fault. So I'll be playing
Well,
that again sure
yeah,
soon. But
there you
no, yeah.
go.
So you were in line, you got your badge. What was your first game? Was it
My
COC?
first game was Thursday morning, bright and early at 9 a.m., which I thought, oh shit, half the people are not going to be there. I was wrong. It was the All-Star game, which I air quote, so no one thinks I was the All-Star. The All-Star was comic writer and artist Jim Zub and noted game designer Mike Pondsmith.
I love
And
Mike Pondsmith.
this was a Call of Cthulhu round for Dread from Geneva Lake with 12 people in a very small room. So I get in there, I'm looking at this table. I can't even sit down. There's
Who
so
wrote
many.
that adventure?
That would be a young man by the name of Skeeter Green and a slightly even younger man, I found out, named Luke Gygax. You may know the name.
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead, not to interrupt. I want to make sure that was clear.
So yeah, I'm running this or I'm getting ready to run it and I'm closing the door so we can have a little bit of quiet so I can get some mood going on here. And I'm like, Mike Pondsmith and Jim Zub noted storytellers, game designers, comic book author, and all of this. Like no pressure, you know. It's like, I'm trying to summon the power to do this, and it went great. It was a fantastic round. Very, very good players. They all kind of came together, and it was wonderful. I had an excellent start to the weekend.
Excellent. So,
And
and
then,
then next game.
oh no, in after that, about 30 minutes after that was where I found out scientifically and mathematically I'm the stupidest person there is because
A lot of people can tell you that.
I had to go and find Jim Kitchen, who had something of mine in his truck and he had it with him. So I go up and I find him. I find him sitting at a table playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons with
No,
who?
who?
Alan Hammock.
Of course.
So
Man, that dude's all over our stories now. That guy's famous.
I try not to disrupt the game, fail miserably. Everything stops because Alan is talking to me. I get my stuff. I'm trying to get ready to go. Alan Hammock says, "Hey, we have an open seat at the table. Would you like to sit in?"
Oh, I know this
He
story.
he's
Yeah.
running Ghost Tower of Inverness.
And
And
what'd you
I,
do? What
and
is it you
I
did? Of
I
course you said yes,
say
right?
I say I'm not going to do that. This is my only downtime of the day. I, I'm I'm not going to play in this game with Alan Hammock running Ghost Tower of Inverness. Mark Greenberg's in the game. Jim Kitchen's in this game. And some other cool cat, you may know the name of Joe Manganello.
That's the guy that I'm more handsome than, right? Okay,
I
no, I
I
know.
did I did finally get to meet Joe face to face and Bubbles.
Bubbles is everywhere. Bubbles is like almost as famous as Grogu.
I'm kind of thinking that Bubbles is an alien and Joe is Bubbles' vessel that just carries her around.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool dude, legitimate, seemed like a very nice guy in my very tiny interaction with him. Some people go off about celebrities shouldn't be in gaming. Just shut your ass up. He is
He
a
loves D and
gamer.
D. He
Yeah,
loves D and D. He was
he's
in Bill Webb's
totally.
game one time, and I could not believe how excited he was to be in the game with
Yeah,
Bill. I
I
mean,
mean he's
he loved it. He loved the way Bill played, and he's also played in games that are different editions. He loves it all of it. So he's a
yeah,
big fan.
totally cool dude. Um, so yeah, as those words are coming out of my mouth, I'm like, what are you doing? How and then I just, like I do, I just fled the scene and
Or
I went directly to the Frog God booth and I asked my sister, your lovely wife, to punch me in the face,
did
and she
she?
would not do it.
Well, that was a mistake on her part.
Well, I think she wanted to plot more destructive means.
She's more of a blade person, really, than a fist.
I don't want her to cut my entire face off. I
But
think that
you
would be
better
tough
behave
to
then.
recover from.
You know, she's got July. She's got opportunity in July. And in June. You know, she has many opportunities this year to do that. So you be
She
careful.
does. Maybe she's storing it up.
Now
She's
she has
laying in wait like a trapdoor spider.
Gum Jabbar.
Whatever, Dune nerd. Oh, I did see the San Jesus movie. Not shabby.
Not shabby at all.
No, I
So
liked it.
you turned down like one of the greatest games in history. And then what'd you do next?
Keep bringing it up. And then I had a night game of Call of Cthulhu that same evening. That went fantastic. And that repeated 3 more times. I ran 20 hours of games at GaryCon and then played in a game, a Cthulhu Weird Frontiers game with
That
Paul
sounds
Smith
fun.
running it.
That sounds fun.
He's okay. The best part is that Dave Beatty was sitting right next to me playing in the game,
Yeah.
and as they do, they argue about rules.
I love
Paul
Dave
will
Beatty's.
argue the rules with Dave, who wrote it.
Dave Beatty's a cool guy too.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And he was so sweet. He bought the whole table pizza.
That is nice.
I don't know if he meant to, but the
But
whole table descended on it because
yeah,
it's gaming and pizza.
yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it works. So you finally you did a lot of events. I ran the booth. We met a lot of people. Friday
Yep.
night I went and saw everybody that we hang out with normally in the big bar in the main hall of the Lake Geneva the Grand. It's by the window, looking out of the little lake there. It was fancy. And then I had my dad cook. And then we went to Saturday night, and I was actually in a game. And I'll describe the game that I was in.
I think you
Well,
should describe that game.
it was run by a man named Skeeter Green, and we found out that we were in a regular population like table, but you had allowed people to join that we knew. So it was signed up by about 8, and we had what 14,
12 people showed up.
12, and so you had it moved, and the lovely Kim George helped you get that done down to the Timberline, which is the family-friendly hotel, which is so appropriate for you. On the side of the Grand Geneva, it's like about a mile and a half of long, loopy, scary woods away. It was a perfect place to call Cthulhu. If you had walked there, you'd be all scared by the time you got there. We got there, and then what makes that one stand out from the other hotels is there's a giant water park right there. So there's tons of kids in bathing suits if you walk in, and there's a barbecue
Super
restaurant
weird.
which is we go to Texas and have barbecue, so it's a little bit weird to go and see the barbecue restaurant in Wisconsin. But they claimed it was good. We had our own room, and we set it up, and we played the Dread in Lake Geneva, which is we played ourselves,
Part two.
part two. And we played ourselves, and we knew the knowledge we had was our personal knowledge. And we had Kim George from Lake Geneva, who helped us go about to various places to try to solve the trouble of the horrible thing at the bottom of the lake. And it was a lot of fun. We broke into the dungeon hobby shop. Police came and got us. I'm gonna tell the story because I was left in the vehicle by my wife. And I said, "What about me?" She goes, "Oh, I forgot about you. This
Yep.
wasn't. This doesn't make me feel good about my marriage. I usually feel pretty good about it, but that night,
Absolutely abandoned.
100%. Like it wasn't even any sympathy. There wasn't even any like, oh, I'm sorry. It was like, that's what I got. So she knows how
Well,
to play. For somebody
hold
who has not
on.
grown up with it, oh
Hold
yeah,
on. The funny part of that is when I described the burly, corn-fed, giant Thor cop getting out of the police car and walking towards you guys, there was a bit of reaction from a couple of the female players in the game. I think they were getting the vapors.
yeah, I think so too. That's what I probably got abandoned for. Now I think about it.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
you
but
got ditched.
no, and so I was like injured in the car, and then she just left my body and myself in there to die.
Well,
So
you got pepper sprayed because you would not comply.
that's true. But I was trying to make a distraction. But point
You,
being,
you
my
know
point
how
is
the
not about
state
any of
is.
that. It's not about how I was playing. It was about how my wife, who did not grow up with role playing games, has quickly latched onto it and become quite good at it in the wrong way.
She is a no nonsense in the Call of Cthulhu sphere.
She
She
loves,
she has a future there.
yeah, she does, but she actually prefers Call of Cthulhu to Dungeons and Dragons, and I understand why because it's stabbier in the right kind of way,
It can
sneaky
be, yeah,
stabbier, you know.
yeah.
So anyway, so I'm sure she's probably typing stuff out, but I'm not reading the chat because I don't need to listen to her. Yep. Nope. Okay, good.
Yep, it's all right.
So anyway, so we played that game and it ended. I'm gonna let Skeeter describe how it ended because it was probably the best ending of any convention game I've ever played in. And Skeeter,
So
right.
what happened was there was a cult leader in a gazebo in Flatiron Park, right on the shores of Lake Geneva. And the goal was that the cult leader was going to get the cultists in the park to chant and raise the monster that lives at the bottom of Geneva Lake. And while all of this is going on, the all the players are trying to figure out how to stop this. And then all of a sudden, I get this note from one of the players for what they're going to do. And I look at this little sticky note, and by this time, it took me a minute to focus on it. And I said, 100%, please do this.
That's the
By
exact
all that
quote.
is unholy, make this happen. So, Jim Kitchen, again, superhero. This is this is directly after he helped raise $50,000 for the charity during the
Auction.
Larrycon auction, which we will never be able to uh, repay Jim for everything he does for the auction and raising money for great cause. Um, but yeah, he gets in and he wants to do this thing, and I'm like, you do it. So all of a sudden, he grabs his phone and is messing around with something. He's got a soundtrack. And if you have a soundtrack for an action you're going to do in Call of Cthulhu, I am in 100%.
It wasn't just any soundtrack. It wasn't
All
just
of a
a.
sudden, I hear the opening chords of Kickstart My Heart from Motley Crue. And Jim says, I get in my truck, I turn it on, and I go to run him over. And I say, hell yeah, you do that. America. That is that was fantastic.
He even showed a picture of his truck to all of us.
He showed us his truck. He's got this plan on his phone, and he goes to roll his dice, and he rolls like an 80 something. So he couldn't kill the cultist, but he smashes into the gazebo and kind of knocks part of it down, knocks the cultist down, which sort of breaks the chanting. The rest of the cultists are still going. But it was just such an absolute classic because all of these guys are playing them, and I was like, I could see Jim doing this. That seems like a Jim Kitchen thing to do. And they did finally defeat the cultists by use of a Yithian lightning gun, which just grease spotted a whole path of people.
And I'm
And
still left by my wife in the car.
and yeah, you were in Jim's truck that crashed into the gazebo, which after while we're talking around the table, Jim also mentioned that he needed to find Jolly Blackburn and tell him that he solved the issue in Knights of the Dinner Table with the whole gazebo in the field. So it was wonderful on many levels. And about 5 minutes after the game, completely lost my voice.
And then you had to find a ride home, or a ride to the airport.
Yeah,
That was that was
that
a
was
solving a puzzle,
Sunday's
real life RPG.
that was Sunday's effort, which I did thanks to Darren. And we stopped and got brats on the way to the airport. And we stopped at, I don't even know what it was called, the brat stop, but it had the greatest signage around it. It was absolutely wonderful. You could get brats, cheese, guns, a concealed carry permit class. Uh, it was condensed Wisconsin America. It
I
was
love it.
fantastic. And on the inside, absolutely ludicrous. This dude behind the bar set an alarm off whenever he felt like it. The food was very good, I thought, but just everything, the more I looked at, they had a big screen TV that just said, what was coming up. And they're like, well, come to concealed carry classes and get you a gun. And,
Well, that kind of
there's
reminds me when we
there's
went
a
to LongCon.
357 for the toddlers too. And, it was just
Remember,
like,
remember
wow.
at LongCon, we went to that barbecue place where we had that the bouncy waitress.
Oh yeah. That's where the
We've had some
roadside.
weird local flavor. We've had some weird local flavor at these cons.
Yeah, but this was absolutely something that needed to be experienced. And Darren, of course, probably one of the last people that would find any entertainment in a structure like this, was loving it as much as I was. I
Awesome.
think. I don't know. You're in there. There we are. Darren is in the chat.
Well, then, the fact that he went there, mucho respect, man. Mucho respect. Did you
It
did he get his
was
concealed carry? I'm just kidding. Um,
I don't know. He may have.
so we get back and we try to start life again. I had a lot of stuff to do with Frog. I know you were going back to work, but we apparently are immortal because everybody we know basically caught the Black Death. I mean, everybody we know started getting sick.
Everybody has been sick like up to now. I think people are still
Like I
ill.
think Bill was sick for the whole week. Like today was the first day he did anything besides be in bed. And some people went to the hospital, and it was not COVID.
Mhm.
Apparently, it was just like a horrible like pneumonia. But I really think that people are starting to get the big buboes because that was next because it was the Black Death, man. But we
Yeah.
survived. Jen and I are okay. You're okay.
Yeah, there was a nasty rat that passed something on. I blame Karen Johnson because she's English.
Yeah, that's a good.
She
Why not?
probably brought a rat from England that
Yeah.
had this play. Unfortunately, I think she got pretty sick too.
Well, that's what you get for bringing rats to the United States.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, but anyway, so everybody got really, really sick, and I felt sorry for everybody. Like poor Guppy. I know it was laid out like real bad. I know that.
Well, Guppy's blaming his sickness on Bottolato, which I mean,
Well, I don't think he got sick
if
though, did he? He
I
wasn't there.
think Mike got a little bit sick, but that could have been from the pork loin sandwich.
That's true.
I
True.
mean, I
So,
don't know how you guys do that. That's
but
especially you. You eat like 3 bites of anything. Why do you get that giant ass sandwich?
because it's cool.
Okay, fair enough. That was all the
No,
answer I needed.
well, there you go. So no, I think it was successful, Gary Conner. It was the smoothest one I'd been to in a long time. Like the last one I went to that was at the lodge at Lake Geneva, like Park Con 7. That one was really smooth because they, kind of got it down. They had the
Yeah.
place down. The Grand is a much harder place to run one, and it's the biggest location you can have in Lake Geneva. I know they all the hotel rooms were gone, and they had people being shuttled places, but I didn't hear any complaints really about how it was run. So props to Luke Gygax and his whole crew. Dave
I
Connick made
think
the vendor hall work great.
the vendor hall this year was booming.
Yeah,
I mean, it was packed with people
buying.
in a good way. Yeah, they were spending money.
Like
Um,
you get some of those Whiz Kids minis?
I did. WizKids had some promo minis. Oh shit, I got it right here.
Yeah, show everybody.
Ah, ah.
Oh, ski green. Ooh, very nice.
It's
There.
blurry.
Well, that's because it's trying to focus on everything at once.
Well, that's because
Technology is not your friend,
they
Scooter.
yeah, I know. I'm an idiot. They had a birthday cake mimic which sold out constantly. I did not get one, and then I thought about it and I was like, why do I need a birthday cake mimic?
You just trying to tell yourself that you don't have one now.
No, I've actually all of my background notwithstanding, I'm thinking about paring down
Uh-huh.
my stuff,
Yeah, I know.
which we goddamn it, Zach will have an announcement at an upcoming episode here
Oh yeah,
about grab bags.
it's true. Because I'll be honest with you, it's not just you that has many things and many extras and many things, and we want to spread some of them around so we can buy more things.
We are going to start offloading some of our collective collections, and we're going to combine some stuff and not combine some stuff, but it will be goddamn it, Zach branded
Crap.
stuff. Yeah. No, it's not crap. There's some good stuff.
No,
I'm offloading some 5e stuff. I'm offloading some old TSR. Somebody might get my Rod of Seven Parts box set at some
I
point.
I have an extra Groups first edition box set, an extra Ghostbusters box set. I got a lot of stuff. So, and we're gonna do it in grab bag form because we're too lazy to try to sell them individually, and we know
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
we won't put any garbage in there because we don't really. I don't have that. I
Yeah,
have oddball books, but I don't have any garbage. So.
I don't have any shit.
So we'll do
Uh,
that, and we're both going to be at North Texas. We'll both also be at a Crit Hit Con in the summer in Phoenix, which we recommend because it's in the summer in Phoenix. Um, we also will be going to. You'll be. Are you going to Cajun Con this year?
I'm going to Chaosium Con in 17 days.
I will not be there. I
I
would like to go
I'm
because I like everybody who goes, but I won't be there.
I'm running some Rivers of London games and 2 games of Cthulhu Dark Ages,
Right on.
which surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, but that is really picking up. I talked to a couple of people at GaryCon about Cthulhu Dark Ages, and they're very interested.
I think it's awesome. I think that and the Western ones, I think are was it Trails.
Down Darker Trails.
I think that's awesome. So no, and then I think that we've gone long this time because I want to spend more time next week. I want to talk about Skeeter and I are working on a project that we're real excited about at Frog God that has other people at Frog God who are really awesome. And we're working on it weekly and doing something a little bit different that we're real proud of. But we start talking about it now, no one will be listening at the end. I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to hear about it. But you can give a hint, Skeeter. Give a hint.
We are going to we and some people may have picked up on that. I think, am I officially a frog again, Zach?
Yeah, I would call you that.
I am back with the frogs, and we are launching a product line. It is going to be 2 zines that are going to release together, an adventure zine and a notebook that can supplement or launch
Stand
new
alone.
ideas for other things, but they will be thematically linked,
And
and it's going very well.
I can tell you this much is that I'm actually I do all the behind the scenes work as Frog. I do a lot of it. I do a lot of the organization. I deal with the publishers. I deal with the printers. I deal with all those things. And I am writing again for the first time in a long time. Small things, but fun things. And it's we're all really jazzed. We have a weekly meeting about it, and we're super excited because it's all new content. I mean, uh, we're converting one of the adventures for the first one because it really needs a conversion to old school. It's going to be awesome. And Skeeter wrote the original, and he's working on this one. We have a bunch of great guys working on the OSC version to make sure we get it right because these guys are talented. And they like the guy who Aaron Smale, who did Whisper and Venom, who did the conversion to it, did a great job. He's working with us to make sure we get all the stuff accurate. We had a meeting with Gavin at GaryCon that we forgot to
That
mention.
was great. He's
We met
super
with
nice.
he's a great guy, Gavin Norman, who runs Necroc Gnome, and he was really very kind about our work so far and was really gracious about our upcoming work. And he he said we asked him, was there anything you don't want us to print? And he basically was like, don't be James Raggy. I guess he doesn't want Fuck for Satan to be one of our modules, and we're cool with that.
Yeah, all good.
So
Hey, Zach, can I share my screen real quick?
yeah, please do. I think I know what this is, and I'm excited for you.
Just as a little taster sample for what's going to be in our new product line, we have a comic.
Yep. Now turn
And
it
that's
off.
it.
There. That's
That's
it.
all you get. So yeah, this is going to be an ongoing comic series. Chet Minton is
Who's
doing
awesome.
the art for this, and he's really nailed it.
Yeah.
I'm
It
writing the
feels
story.
it feels like old Dragon magazine stuff to me. It feels like going to the
It
back of
is.
the Dragon magazine, and it feels fun, and it's been updated for just because the games have changed a lot, but it still has the same feel to it. So it's exciting. So I'm super jazzed about all that. I'm super jazzed to be back doing this with my friend Skeeter Green. He's my partner in crime and a good friend of mine, back with the frogs. And overall, time for some more. God damn it, me. It's time for more stuff. So I'm Zach. That's Skeeter. God damn it.